know, some people were celebrating New Year's Day to get out unscathed of such an awful year like 2020. I, on the other hand, was flipping out for a completely different reason. You see, New Year's was spent celebrating something else. After all of these years, a Sonic the Hedgehog 1 prototype, the UFOs, Sparkling Zone, Starlight being a total asshole, the works. Now this is something that Sonic fans have wanted for probably close to 22 years, which was when Simon Y made his famous discovery of a Sonic 2 beta ROM that was being circulated as a bootleg of the real game. Now the thing is, in 2021, we have at least one major prototype of every major Genesis era Sonic game. Sonic 3 and Sonic 1 being the biggest discoveries in recent years, obviously. But what could possibly be next? What could we possibly want to discover now? I mean, personally, unless Sega or a former employee leaks it themselves, I think the well is basically dry for Sonic 2 and Sonic CD. Sonic 3, I just don't see it happening. Or at the very least, an earlier prototype than the one we have is basically close to impossible. Sonic 1 though? Different story. I can hear you from here. It took 30 years for one Sonic prototype to show up, and now you're demanding more? What the heck is wrong with you? It's not so much that I'm demanding, but I feel like there's a whole nother world of Sonic dating back to earlier than the prototype we just got. And hey, history could be repeating itself, and we could actually see Sonic 1 prototypes in the future, just like how the well opened when Sonic 2 had its famous beta release. So what can we possibly learn from earlier Sonic 1 prototypes? I mean, it doesn't seem like any cut levels ever made it into Sonic 1. Design documents exist of drastically different looking zones, sure enough. Besides name changes and the like, it doesn't seem like many of the actual plans changed. Wrong. Consider this for a second. Sonic 3 was built off of Sonic 2. We know this because some remnants of Sonic 2 stuff exist in the final Sonic 3. I talk more about that in my Sonic 3 video you can check out here. Sonic 2 was very clearly built off of Sonic 1. The Nick Arcade build still uses the original zone names in the level select, the original game's music. The Green Hill Zone was converted to Sonic 2's format, just so much stuff. This prototype we have is the first one from before a final Sonic product was released. That may seem like a no duh. Of course the first game is like that. But one small change in this prototype, if it was carried over to the final game, would drastically affect the rest of the series. You ever see Back to the Future? It's the same concept. For an argument here, let's bring up the UFOs and Marble Zone for a second. If these carried over to the final release of Sonic 1, there may have been even more UFO-related objects in the Genesis trilogy. But we'll come back to this. Let's talk about the world of Sonic 1. These guys. Most Sonic nerds know about this. Originally, Sonic was going to be in a band with a bunch of animals, and these guys would be who you saved at the end of zones. At the end of the game, Sonic would fall and need to be caught by his bandmate Sharps, who I've personally renamed Edgy Cog, and they flew back to a familiar end screen with his bandmates participating. Now here's the thing. It's hard to say how far these guys made it before they were cut. Obviously, no screenshot has ever shown any of them in any build of the game, but it's not just that simple. See, they do appear here, in this promotional manga for the game that was released around the same time as Sonic 1, and in this unreleased Sega Sonic Bros. Arcade game. They appear in it as unused sprites. This arcade game was tested in 1992. I don't think we have a month of when this happened, but even if it was January 1992, that's still 6 months after the initial release of Sonic 1. The prototype we do have still has a bare-bones Sega logo, so maybe this is a situation where they were still going to be added? I don't have any evidence of this whatsoever, but consider Sonic 2's Hidden Palace Zone. This gorgeous zone was one of the first things worked on for Sonic 2, but it was neglected for several months to the point where they just did not have the time to finish it anymore. Could this have been a sign of history repeating itself for our Sonic 1 friends? It's kinda hard to say. How different would history really be though? For example, if Sharps made it into Sonic 1, then would there have ever been a point for Tails? Would there have been a point for Tails, or would they have just made some of the bandmates playable? It's really impossible to say, but the point is, history would have been very different. Let's dig a little deeper. Before January 1991, we have a Jessica Rabbit clone to talk about. Many Sonic fans hate the very idea of her, and Naka himself has stated the reason that she was removed was because they didn't want anyone to compare Sonic 1's plot to Mario's. And you know what? That is completely believable. It's more believable than drinking the Kool-Aid that is the so-called mother of Sonic would tell you that she got rid of her. What's my opinion on Madonna? I think she's cool. I mean, listen, I'm not a fan of bestiality either, but the clear difference between Madonna and, say, Elise from the other game called Sonic the Hedgehog is that Madonna is cartoony. I mean, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is one of my favorite movies of all time, and that was still rather new in 1990. But either way, they cut the busty blonde. But let's talk about this, okay? This is a picture drawn by Mr. Oshima himself, and depicts, I don't even know. There's Sonic and Madonna, a bee Eggman, and all these strange creatures. I mean, what's going on? Now, my initial theory was aliens. I mean, these things are obviously not from Earth or anywhere similar to Earth. There's UFOs in Marble Zone. Oftentimes in media involving aliens, ancient ruins are involved, so the Labyrinth and Marble Zone make complete sense. I mean, the only thing I could do is ask the man himself. See, a fact I'm extremely proud of is that one of my heroes did in fact follow me on Twitter. All I did really was thank the entire Sonic team on Twitter, and Mr. Oshima not only liked my reply, but also followed me. Of course I thanked him, and that was it for a while. I mean, you don't want to harass someone who's basically your Walt Disney. I mean, he created Sonic and directed my favorite game in the series. But when I got the idea to make this video a few weeks ago, as the prototype came out, I had this alien theory and I simply asked him about it in the nicest way possible. I mean, I left it at that, and I honestly had completely forgotten about this video for a while and just gave up on it. Then, I got a notification today, and I had a heart attack. His message will be on screen in Japanese for a second here, but this is the new information that I almost believe without certain has never been known. Here it goes. The English translation speaks. Thanks for the mail. I drew that. Why is the boss in the picture a monster? What is the world of this picture a fantasy? This is the world of nightmares. Let's say I'm writing this to Twitter out of boredom, because that was the original plan before Sonic. Thank God he was bored and I just happened to ask him something. I mean, okay, you are a Sonic fan. Big Sonic fan. You ask the guy who literally created Sonic 30 years ago in a question, and he tells you something no one else knows. How do you process that information? By working really hard to make a video on it as fast as possible, yet somehow professional, that's how. Based on this information, I infer this original idea. Obviously, I will not play 20 questions with Mr. Oshima, and nobody better harass him because I got lucky. I am a very lucky person to get a reply, but Mr. Oshima is a human being and does not deserve to be harassed. But what I will say is that the original plot must have involved Sonic needing to travel inside Madonna's nightmares to rescue her. But wait, there's a lot more connections to dreams that we need to consider. Masato Nakamura, the man responsible for the music in both Sonic 1 and 2, was in a band called Dreams Come True. The special stage were always trippy and dreamlike. I could go on. A lot of this oddity carries over to the final game and even the series in general. But how long did this plot last? Did any of this make it into Sonic the Hedgehog? Well, probably not past June 1990. The Tokyo Toy Show demo is probably the most sought after Sonic prototype in history, even though it pretty much was probably guaranteed to not be playable. All the screenshots seem to show the exact same playthrough, and considering these all come from different magazines, it's very unlikely that they all shared pictures of the same thing. I would say, though, that it's probably a looped auto demo that shares no actual code with the actual real Sonic 1. But here's the thing. That enemy is here. The band members never appeared in the build of Sonic 1, but this thing, this weird Goomba enemy did. So what else made it? I think that mystery is what drives us all to one day find it. I'd be happy with VHS footage, but unfortunately Yuji Naka himself stated that this build is lost, so who knows if it'll ever show up. Just imagine what we could learn. thank you so much for watching the video. I gotta be honest, I worked really hard to get this out, and it's definitely not the same level of quality as some of my other videos on the channel. So what I will do is I'll recommend you check out my Sonic 3 video, or my Sonic & Knuckles video, but I recommend you watching Sonic 3 first, obviously. Or, if you're more interested in Sonic prototypes, you can also check out my Sonic 1 beta video that I did a while back, as soon as the prototype was out, actually. You know, this is just crazy to me that this happened, and I'm so happy to hear what you guys think about this whole plot thing. I mean, Sonic being set in a nightmare? That sounds a lot like Kirby. And I didn't even bring up the Dreams, or the Nights into Dreams connection, so let me know what you think about that. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.